Yo. Welcome back to the channel. Earl BN of It Must Be Debate. And today I want to go over adding a click drag to the Alphas Air TW 2020. It didn't come with one, so I ordered one from Ukraine. And the things you're going to need today are a small flathead, if you can see that, small Phillips, a small Allen key. Your Allen key is a 1.5 if you have this set. Requires a 1.5 to get inside this bad boy. And if you have a small wrench, this actually came from Shimano. When you buy some of the higher end reels, it comes with this so that you can just stick it on and spin quickly. Super glue, very important. But before we start, I just want you guys to see if you can see this piece of paper. I'm gonna pause it for about 30 seconds, or you can pause the video and just look at it and read it. But those are your steps. It's pretty simple. The scary part about it is taking it apart and putting it back together so that it works correctly. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you take off this little red thing. I had already pre-started it, by the way. You want to take this off. It comes with a little screw. You're going to need, the best thing that worked for me in that case was the flathead right there. Unscrew the red piece off that holds, which is another screw, which I thought was a nut. It's a screw actually. Put that on. Undo your screw. If it's tight, you can take a screwdriver and just slide it in that hole if you have one of these, or you could just use a regular wrench and undo that right there. And then you do the rest of it with your finger. It's pretty loose. Hold down the star drag, and I'm going to show you a trick for the next step. This comes out. Your whole handle will come off. Boom. Make sure you see that little silver washer's there. Next step is you want to pull this off, right? You got to remember your steps. If you do this, and the best thing to do is video record yourself doing it, just in case you mess up. So I'm going to show you a trick. This spring comes out. This black thing holds all of this together, basically. And there are 3 screws on the inside. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 is inside right above the spool. You're going to want to loosen these first before undoing this, because this is holding on as well as the screws. This is holding it down. Take your Allen key. It should make a little popping noise for the first time if you ever did it. 1. 2. And number 3. Which I will use the short end to get it started. And just on the little long end with the ball on the back. The Allen key set I had has a little ball to make it easier to get in there sideways. Okay, and that one's out. So those are the 3 screws. So here's the trick. This black thing is going to come off. When this black thing comes off, all of this stuff's going to spring off. But take your star drag and put it back in there and let it fall into place. It's in place because you got your extra bit for your handle to put back on. Spin it counterclockwise. clicking noise you hear is the star drag. That's very important that goes back on the correct way. And you undo this. Remember your order for all of this, or if you could pull it all up together, that would be even better. Once you get the black thing off, pull it all up together so that everything stays in order. Pull all of that, because there's a couple of different washers in there. You do not want to mess up the order. Sit those down. Grab your next set of washers. It should be two, a big one and a little one. You see those. 1 and 2. Lay those down and just remember that those go first. And then just slide this whole side plate off. When you pull this off, remember there are 2 springs that has to go back on to these 2 things. I don't know the exact words. So the order of these things number 4. Originally, when you first take off, because I've did it already. This is done. It doesn't look like that. It looks like this. No holes. The Ukrainian version has holes. I guess to make it lighter, which is cool. So you're gonna pull that off, this one off, and this is gonna come off. Those are the only 2 things that should be left inside of there. I'm just gonna take this off and show you guys real quick. Okay. So this will say super glue on the back side. It is your actual clicking gear. The teeth are exposed to this thing here. I don't want to hold it over and something falls. That's one thing I don't want to happen. So I'm going to leave it as close as possible. I'll hold this up so you can see it. Those are your teeth. You're going to want to put glue on the back side of that. Super glue. Doesn't require much. And push it down onto your main gear. Give it a few seconds. But before you put the super glue on the main gear, there is grease. You're going to want to wipe that off of the main gear and then put your super glue down. Then you're going to want to put this carbon drag washer in. It replaces Daiwa's version. It goes here. Slide that on. Then you're going to put this here, the claw washer. What I call it, the claw has this little thing, and what it literally does, it taps. When this is spinning, it's literally tapping those teeth to make the clicking noise. He has on the paper or the little baggie is going to either say left or right, and because this reel is right-handed, he made it pretty simple. Boom. This is the left-handed one that comes in it. So you want to put that down, teeth aiming down. And the last thing you want to put in is this washer. Then you're going to want to put back on your side plate. Here's the thing with this. That last washer I put down has 2 little gaps. I don't know if you could see that. That's supposed to slide into the inside of your plate. So when you slide it down, it's going to be pretty tricky. It'll lock into place once you put it in. You're going to want to make sure your 0 dial goes back in that hole. and the side plate slides down on there. Zero down. Make sure that's one thing you don't want to happen. You see that spring fall? You want to keep that spring on there. That helps push it off when you take it apart. I'm going to keep it straight up versus trying to show you guys exactly it. Make sure your $0 is in place, or you can take it out. Some people don't like messing with the $0 because it's $0. They said it's already tuned for that. Me, I tinker with everything. So the first thing they said, don't touch, I touched it. And I adjusted it to my liking. Right, you got that in place. You hear everything click. The actual thing did not go into place. There, you hear that? That's the drag working already, clicker. So what you want to do is just pull it up just a little bit until those things go into place. You want those to go into place and not sit down in there snug. Let me double check to make sure that that's on there right. Nah, it's not, because what happens is when this goes into place, actually what I'll do is instead of putting it down on here, I'll put it on here. It should hold in place on those two little brackets that's sticking out. So yeah, okay, so those two little brackets, once it's on there, it'll hold in place and it shouldn't fall. So you want to put that back on. Here and turn it to meet $0. Make sure it goes down in that hole. The $0 has to go down in that metal cylinder. Let's make sure you slide it into place. Boom. All right, everything is in place, and that should sit snug. That's your drag. You got your click and drag. All right, now you got your click and drag. Remember your order of washers. The little one first. The next one has got a little bend to it. That's next. This whole assembly here is for your star drag. Make sure you put that down evenly. And all of those washers go down on top of that clicker. And then your shortcut would be to stick your star drag on and get it into place. And once it gets down, you'll hear that. You can put your thumb in between your that's tightening up your drag. You don't want to tighten it too much without putting your screws back. Your 3 screws. Allen key. Don't tighten it all the way, just put it on there just enough so it's holding it in place. Because what happens is if you tighten it down on one side, the other side will buckle. So put all of them in first. The last one up top. All right, you can tighten all of those down. Go back, take your star drag off. Take it off because this spring has to go down in this hole. Now you can put your star drag back on and you can tighten up your drag. Good and tight. That's in place. Make sure you put that washer on. Well, it should stay there because it's not glue, it's got like grease that's holding it in place. Then push your star drag down, hold down the stars, slide it into place. Do not get confused. This is not a Shimano, so it doesn't have to go like all the way down there to the point that this is sitting flush or sticking out. It doesn't need to stick out because this is an actual screw versus a nut. Take that, put your screw back in, the big screw. Tighten that down. Well, you don't want to tighten it down completely because then this won't align, because this is supposed to align to that hole. Yeah, and I tighten it down a little too much. Just loosen it a little bit. Let this do the tightening for you. Lay it as close as possible and then just align it to the hole. Take the final screw, the little black screw that holds the red piece in place. It's easier to use a flathead. It has a Phillips and flathead Stalrite screw, but I'm gonna use the flat. Lock that into place. Loosen up the drag. Yep, it's making noise. And voila. I just want to start by saying that I am sorry that I have not been putting out content for you guys. It's been a horrible summer here, a horrible winter here in Pennsylvania. Had a lot of snow. We had one good week, and that good week I took my daughter out, so I definitely couldn't put any video content out of that. And then the video content that I had from me using this reel before the click drag corrupted. I am seeing that as a sign that I shouldn't have posted it. I'm not gonna be mad. And I also want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you see, share. I appreciate it. If you comment, give me your thoughts. And I'll leave a link in the description of where to get that click drag from. It's from the Ukrainians. I ordered it off of eBay. SDS Customs is one place, and then there is too tight. Loosen that drag up, man. You don't want your line to pop. And there is some other places, but yeah. Looking forward to using this now. It is very important to have a click drag for me. Once again, thank you guys, and peace out.